It was supposed to be my night, my 17th birthday, my moment. I'd spent the whole week thinking about it. Just a small gathering, a few friends, nothing too wild. The kind of party where you laugh until your stomach hurts, eat too much cake, and maybe dance a little, even if you're shy. And for a few golden hours, it was exactly that. I was dancing with my dad, of all things. That rare kind of joy where you don't care how it looks, because for once, you're just happy. I remember the lights, the music echoing through the backyard, and the feeling that, just maybe, my friends cared enough to show up for me. What I didn't know was that somewhere in the shadows, far from the laughter, they were planning something else entirely. Unbeknownst to me, a group of them had wandered toward the front of the house. It was dark there, quiet, deliberately away from where the celebration was. They weren't just bored. They weren't just looking for space. They were looking for something to take. We have a second fridge out front, tucked near the garage. It's mostly for summer sodas, leftovers, and yes, my dad keeps beer and some wine in there too. We've never had an issue with it, until that night. While I danced with my father, my so-called friends stole alcohol from my home. They snuck it past the party, giggling like it was harmless, cracking cans in the dark, as if it were some secret rite of passage. And maybe that would have been enough betrayal, enough recklessness. But it didn't stop there. One of them, a boy I had considered a close friend, 17, just like the rest of us, got drunk. Not tipsy, not a little buzzed, drunk. And somewhere between swigs and slurred texts, he decided to break up with his boyfriend, over the phone, in the middle of my birthday party. And when it all came crashing down, when the gravity of what he did hit him like a punch to the chest, he broke. He collapsed into tears, spiraling into that kind of teenage despair that feels like the world is ending. And the others? They swarmed around him, every single one of them. They formed a protective huddle around the broken heart he shattered himself, whispering comfort, holding his shoulders, offering tissues, hugs, whispered reassurances. They abandoned the party. They abandoned me. I didn't know what was happening. All I knew was that the music kept playing, but no one was dancing. The laughter had faded. I walked through the backyard looking for them, wondering if they'd gone to grab something, or maybe needed a minute. But they weren't just gone. They were hiding. They didn't sing happy birthday. They didn't bring me my gift. They didn't say a word. They separated themselves entirely from me, from the event, from the reason they were even at my house. And I was left standing in the middle of my own celebration, alone, confused, and trying to pretend it didn't sting. I smiled through it. I handed out cake, offered candy, gave them hugs when they finally resurfaced and told me they had to leave. Even though they hadn't been present at all, even though I was hurting. And I told myself, maybe it's not that deep. Maybe something just came up. I'll ask them tomorrow. But tomorrow, they ignored me. Not just passive silence. They froze me out entirely. No messages, no replies. Until one text came through, and it felt like a punch in the stomach. Fake friend. They said I was cold, that I didn't comfort the friend who was breaking down, that I was selfish for not leaving my own birthday celebration to join their vigil. I stared at the screen for a long time. My fingers hovered over the keyboard. What could I even say? I didn't know he'd been crying. I didn't know anything had happened. I didn't even know where they were. They had hidden from me. And yet, somehow, I was the villain in their story. I kept replaying it in my head. Did I miss something obvious? Should I have followed them? Should I have pushed harder to find out what was going on? But then I remind myself, I was trying to celebrate the one day of the year that was meant to be about me. Instead, they used my home as a place to drink illegally, to break someone's heart via text, and to make my night about them. And when I didn't play the part of the selfless host to their sudden drama, they threw me away. I've always believed in giving people grace, that we're all learning, that sometimes emotions just get messy. I know being 17 isn't easy. Everything feels enormous. Every love, every heartbreak, every betrayal. But I also know what friendship is supposed to feel like. And this wasn't it. Even after everything, I didn't lash out. I didn't scream. I didn't call them names or expose what they did. I just let it go. My parents had a conversation with their parents, and we agreed to keep it private. I didn't want to escalate it. I didn't want revenge. But I also knew one thing for sure. I would not be friends with them again. I deserve people who don't use my house as a playground for reckless choices. I deserve friends who show up to celebrate me, not sneak away to create chaos. I deserve a birthday that doesn't end in being blamed for not comforting someone I didn't even know was hurting. So, am I the asshole? Was I supposed to know what was happening behind closed doors, behind backs turned to me? Was I supposed to be the emotional caretaker for a mess I wasn't invited into? Or was I just someone they used? This story hits deep because it's not just about a birthday party gone wrong. It's about that moment we all face sooner or later, when the people we thought were ours show us that we were never theirs. It's about that sting of exclusion, that confusion when your joy becomes an afterthought, that ache of watching people you trusted choose drama over decency. But here's what matters most. This wasn't a story about alcohol, or teenage mistakes, or even a bad group of friends. It's a story about clarity. The kind of clarity that only comes when everything falls apart, and you finally see people for who they really are. Because friendship isn't just about showing up when things go wrong. It's about being there when things go right too. It's about celebrating, not just consoling. And it's about knowing when someone's moment should be honored, not hijacked. So, to anyone listening who's ever felt overlooked on your own special day, or blamed for someone else's disaster, you're not alone. And you're not the asshole. Now we turn it over to you. What would you have done? Have you ever had a birthday, or any day, stolen by someone else's chaos? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. This has been AITA Stories. Until next time, choose your people wisely.